So in the last few videos, we have seen how we can build our own simple agents in LangChain. So if you have seen all those videos, which I recommend seeing before watching this, you know how this code works. But let's just go through this just very quickly. So we are just importing the create agent, and then we are using the Google Gen AI's chat, Google Generative AI library, so that we can use their own cloud hosted Gemini model, which gives us a free quota to use it on some rate limits or daily. Then we just create an agent and we give it a simple prompt that give me a Python function to reverse a string. So when you run this code, it takes a bit of time because this goes through a network call. But you can see that Gemini gave us a simple function. So yeah, it gave us the answer. So there is this function, then it gave some example usages, then again more methods to reverse a string. But yeah, you can just simply get the answer using this. So this you have already seen till now, but today what we are going to see is how can you achieve this using a locally hosted LLM model. Because a lot of the times you might not have access to the internet, or you might be building a very complex application that might require a lot of testing. So if you are using a cloud hosted model or a free quota or even a build quota, you might be running into your rate limits or burning up a lot of money very easily. So for that, and even for security concerns, if you want your data not to go to any other LLM on the cloud, you can just run a simple LLM on your own machine. You just need a decent machine with at least recommended 16 GB RAM, and you can run your own model on this machine, and then you can use that inside the LangChain as well. So let's quickly get into that. So first of all, we are going to do that using Ollama. So currently, as we are on Mac, it suggests us a downloader for the Mac OS. If you are on Windows, you can just click on this and it will give you a downloader for Windows. So just download this, go ahead and download this and install this, and then you will have the Ollama command available in your terminal. If you are on Mac, you can also just do brew install Ollama as well. So this will not install it because it is already installed on my machine, but this is also an option for the Mac users. Now the second thing that you have to do is to be able to run Ollama server needs to be started. So we'll say Ollama serve. So when you run Ollama serve, it starts a Ollama server on the local host 11434. So after that, you can go ahead and open a new terminal. So on this terminal, so Ollama is what Ollama actually is, we are going to see in another video, but for now you can just think of Ollama as a way to run local LLMs on your machine. But we still need a LLM model, right, for being able to run simple prompts like this using our own agent. So you can go ahead and download any module you like, GPT-OSS, CodeStrel, Mistral, etc. But for today's demo, we are going to go ahead and use the Qwen2.5-Coder model. So of 7 billion parameters. So what we are going to do is first we have to pull this model. So we'll say Ollama pull and the model name. So what this does is this will download this model into our local machine, and then we'll be able to use this model on our own machine instead of using the internet. So it will take a little bit of time as the images can be very big. But what model you download depends upon your specs, the specs of the machine. So if you have a machine which has 32 GB RAM, you can use the 14 billion parameter model as well, which has better performance. But for our purposes of this tutorial, a 7 billion parameter model will do. So after you have pulled this model, you can just say Ollama run, and again the model name, to just test if the model is working, right? So okay, so this went into the model. So now we can just give it a simple prompt like hi, write who are you, let's say. So it says that yeah, hello, it's a Qwen, it's AI model by Alibaba Cloud, and its purpose is to help you. And to exit from this, you can just say /by /by. Yeah, so this exits us from this terminal. So now since Ollama serve is running over here and we have pulled and installed this model, what we can do now is we have to just install a library called LangChains-Ollama. So we'll do pip install LangChain-Ollama. It's CHAIN LangChain. So since I have already installed this, it says that the requirement is already satisfied, but if you haven't, it will install it for you. So now, since the Ollama server, you have to make sure that the Ollama server is running at this point, right? Because otherwise it will not work in your code. And since we have already also installed this library, we can just go ahead and close this second terminal, and then we'll minimize this. So now the only simple thing that we are going to change is, instead of using this model, we are going to use our Ollama model. So for that, we can go ahead and import that from LangChain_Ollama import chat Ollama, and you can just copy this, paste this here, and then we have to give the model name exactly the same that we used while downloading. So Qwen2.5-Coder 7 billion. So we use this model name, and then we are just giving this LLM to this. And then if we run this code now, you can see that we will get a very similar output. And just to make sure that we are not using the Gemini model, I'll also delete this load.env thing, so we don't even load the Gemini API key into our code anymore. So it makes the code a lot more smaller as well. So now if you see, when we run this, we get a very similar output. So not very similar to the Gemini model, but we are getting a very decent output. It gave us a function that reverses a string using the slicing method, and it even gives us a simple explanation of how it did that. So even though since we used a 7 billion parameter model, if we used a better model, we would get a lot better performance as well. But the main point of this video is, you can see that you do not have to rely on cloud services. If you have a decent machine, you can even run your own local LLMs, and even those can be used with LangChain to create your own agents. And this is especially helpful when you're concerned about security, or if you're building something complex and want to do a lot of testing. You might run into rate limits very soon if you are using free quotas, or if you are using cloud hosted models. But this way you can test as much as you want, since this model is just running locally on your system. So moving forward in the series, we are still going to be using the Gemini's free API model, but if for any reason you do not want to use that, you can go ahead and use your local LLM, and we just saw how easy it is to do with Ollama. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.